refining to boost economic resilience amid global uncertainties to drive local industrial growth.
A stronger domestic refinery industry helps fuel improves foreign exchange retention.
Also in this bulletin, Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors warns fuel prices won't drop immediately despite Central Refinery receiving 1 million barrels of crude.
In the immediate impact, it's not going to change anything. And then also the demand mix or the supply mix, about 70 to 80% of the products are imported.
Meanwhile, COPEC boss Duncan Amwa demands fuel price cut following boost in local crude supply to refineries.
Even if it does impact it by 2 pesos or 30 pesos or 10 pesos, it should impact prices because a lot of the logistics would have been taken out.
I am Christabel. Success Trevor will bring you details of our headlines and other stories shortly. Stay with us. Now, in a strategic move to fortify the nation's energy sector, Energy and Green Transition Minister John Abdullahi Jinapor says government is aggressively pushing for the domestic refining of crude oil from Ghana's own oil fields. This follows the delivery of some 1 million barrels of crude from the Jubilee fields to a local refinery. Jinapor emphasized that a robust domestic refinery industry is critical to securing the reliability of oil and petroleum supplies.
This achievement certainly demonstrates the power of collaboration and what can be accomplished when government and industry work together in pursuit of a common national objective. Beyond the immediate commercial benefits, this initiative has significant strategic implications for Ghana. A stronger domestic refinery industry helps fuel oil and petroleum supply reliability. It reduces exposure to international supply shocks, improves foreign exchange retention, creates employment opportunities, and supports the growth of ancillary industries across the petroleum value chain.
Meanwhile, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare has noted refining Ghana's crude oil locally marks the end of a costly 15-year cycle. According to the minister, the financial burden of this cycle was consistently absorbed by ordinary Ghanaians.
For the first time in Ghana's history, as an oil-producing nation, a cargo of Jubilee crude lifted from beneath our own waters has arrived not in Rotterdam, Guangzhou, or the Gulf of Mexico, but here on the Ghanaian soil at a world-class refinery in Tema, to be refined into fuel by a private oil refinery that will power Ghanaian homes, businesses, and roads.
Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare there. Now, the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors says motorists should not expect an immediate reduction in fuel prices, despite the delivery of around 1 million barrels of crude oil in Central Oil Refinery. The shipment forms part of government efforts to boost local refining capacity and reduce Ghana's dependence on imported petroleum products. The move has fueled expectations that increased domestic production could translate into lower prices at the pump. However, speaking on Business Focus on TV3, Chief Executive Dr. Patrick Ofori said Ghana still relies heavily on imported fuel products to meet domestic demand, limiting the impact local refining can have on pump prices in the near term.
Most of them mature in 3 months' time. So you could see that in the last few months or so, the demand for dollar has gone up, basically because when the prices doubled from March onwards coming, these are the time that all those products that we consume have matured and we were in search of dollars to procure in order to settle those debts. So
that was Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Dr. Patrick Ofori. Meanwhile, the executive secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Ghana, COPEC, Duncan Amwa, argues that the additional crude supply should result in at least a marginal reduction in fuel prices. He has nevertheless welcomed the government's decision to provide a more consistent supply of crude oil to local refineries, describing it as an important step towards strengthening energy security and improving the country's refining capacity.
I will not agree to any analysis that suggests that it should not impact prices. It should. Even if it does impact it by 2 pesos or 30 pesos or 10 pesos, it should impact prices because a lot of the logistics, like you alluded to earlier, would have been taken out. And again, once you are also nationalizing your resource, what it means is that you are internalizing or localizing your factors of production. And so
you just heard there Duncan Amwa, he's executive secretary of COPEC. Trading activity on the Ghana fixed income market expanded sharply during the week of June 1 to June 5, 2026, driven by a strong rise in treasury bills and domestic debt exchange program bonds. Total weekly turnover surged by 42.11% to 5.94 billion cedis, up from 4.18 billion cedis recorded the previous week. Treasury bills maintain their market dominance, accounting for nearly half of all activity at 2.93 billion cedis, as investors continue to favor short-term instruments for liquidity and risk management. Meanwhile, confidence in restructured securities showed signs of improvement as DDEP bond traded volumes skyrocketed by over 237% to reach 1.60 billion cedis. In the secondary bond market, yields shifted upward across most points of the curve, reflecting selective price discovery and firmer investor demand for higher returns on longer-dated maturities. We'll now take a look at how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some of the key commodities are also faring on the global market.
On the interbank foreign exchange markets, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 84 pesos. It lost 1 peso. The British pound is selling at 15 cedis 80 pesos. It lost 3 pesos. The euro is selling at 13 cedis 66 pesos. It also lost 1 peso. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $94.16 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,326.92 per ounce, down by $1.53. Cocoa is trading at $3,831 per ton, up by $69.
That was an update from the Forex and Commodities market. And that'll be all for the business news on Sunrise. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Christabel Success Treve. The rest of the Sunrise team are on standby. Don't go away.